It's pretty easy when you got a great candidate, great representative. Why would you not support?
Oh, well, I appreciate you saying that. I really do.
You guys are just excellent. So.
Well, we like to think we're doing the right things. This is unbelievable. My name is Kendall Van Dyke, and I'm here because I have something to tell you. I'm running against Roy Brown, and as of this moment right now, it is on. Yeah! You know, I can honestly say, as a ranch kid growing up on the banks of the Madison River, I never would have guessed that I'd be standing in front of you today. All I ever really wanted to do as a kid is play in the dirt and go fishing, and look what happened. Every Montana kid deserves a shot at making it in the world. And you know, Montanans recognize that when 70% of us went to the polls in 2008 to create the Healthy Montana Kids program. The plan will make health care affordable for every Montana family. And we're awful proud of what we've done, but it didn't come easy. What you may not know is Roy Brown led the charge to try to overturn the will of the voters and slash the funding for the Healthy Montana Kids initiative in the last legislature. So, despite Roy Brown being perhaps the best example of a bad example, Democrats in the legislature fully funded the Healthy Montana Kids initiative because we believe that Montana is a place where we should never turn our back on our next generation, and we never will. No. You know, we have a lot of work to do together, folks, and there's so much opportunity that lies out before us. But we have to do it without Roy Brown standing in our way. Yeah. First off, we need to get Montana's economy back on track. We need to dramatically increase the amount of clean and renewable energy from sources like wind and solar, which will create good-paying jobs for Montanans and create a new energy future here at home. Our state is #1 in wind potential, and it is time for us to lead. Now, Roy Brown has done his best to try to stop renewable energy legislation. He tried to stop the Renewable Energy Standard in 2005. He tried to stop the Clean and Green Act of 2007. But you know what? Once again, we got it done anyways, and literally billions have been invested in a clean energy economy with more money on the way. We're finally starting to catch up to that potential after years of dependence on foreign oil and fossil fuels, but we can do better. Working together, we will announce to everyone that Montana is done being fixated in the rearview mirror and done being fixated and dealing with backseat politicians and moving on past energy technologies of the 19th century. We will start seriously pressing forward rather than just talk about moving forward, and we're going to double the amount of renewable energy like wind and solar and other sources that come from right here in Montana. Right. We'll create the high-paying jobs. We'll put people back to work who have lost their jobs in other industries. And we'll end our addiction to foreign oil, and we'll expand our tax base in the process. Speaking of taxes, you may have read that Roy Brown came up with a little nickname for me. Isn't that special? Well, let me tell you where I stand on taxes. Like you, I believe that ordinary Montanans and small business owners like Jim McCall should be paying less taxes. And we should put an end to the tax holiday the big oil has enjoyed for too long.
Amen.
Yeah. But Big Oil has had their pals in the legislature, and it's time for Big Oil to do their part instead of sitting back, lighting their cigars, and going on their tax holiday. This is why I introduced the Energy for Education bill with Governor Brian Schweitzer last session. We worked together to find a new source of funding that would have generated $40 million to keep Montana school teachers here while relieving the need for local government to ask us to raise our own taxes. The energy industry lobbied the bill hard, and like I said, they have their pals in the legislature. But you know what? In the next session, those oil lobbyists will be back, but Roy and his cronies won't be standing in the way. And I'm coming back with that bill, and we're going to get it done this time. When I'm asked to explain who I am, much like Jim McCall, I never consider myself to be a politician or even a lawmaker. Above all else, I'm a fly fisherman. Yay. It took a few years and it took a lot of hard work, but we brought sportsmen and women, Montana farmers and ranchers together and came up with a bill making sure that we were able to access our rivers and streams and the locking out of the public stopped for now and for future generations. Yay. I tell you what, in a legislature that's evenly divided between Democrats and Republicans, when each party controls one chamber, it's really hard to get anything done. One of the lessons I learned this session, past session with the Stream Access Bill is if you can get 51 votes, you can get 97 votes. We passed the Bridge Access Bill with 97 votes in the House and 47 votes in the Senate, because that's the kind of bipartisanship Montana needs, and that is the kind of bipartisanship that Montanans are so desperately looking for. You may have heard me say it on the House floor at one point. You'll hear me say it again. As long as I'm elected to serve in Helena, your access will never be for sale in Big Sky Country. In the Montana Senate, there are those who have chosen bitter partisanship over bipartisanship. And that ain't me. In the Montana Senate, there are those who seek to be the standard bearer of their party and work for the ideological right wing rather than a representative of their neighborhood. And that ain't me. And there are those in the Montana Senate that would rather give tax breaks to Burlington Northern executives than the homeowners and renters out here on Burlington Avenue. And you know what? That ain't me. The difference between the candidates in this race is country boy versus country club. And the difference between what we stand for in this race is country club versus the rest of us. Yes.
How excited are you about the race?
I couldn't be more excited. We've got probably 150 supporters here today. You know, this is obviously going to be one of the most important races in the state, and we're ready to rock.
And lastly, you mentioned earlier you mentioned some of the things that you would like to accomplish if elected. Can you tell us again what your main?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing on people's mind right now is getting our economy back on track and putting people to work. I think it's time we kick the ball forward even further on the renewable energy standard. You know, open Montana for business. We've done a good job. We need to do better. There's all kinds of opportunity out there for renewable energy, green collar jobs, good paying jobs, and putting people back to work.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys coming down.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you bet.